So this is part 4. We start tightening everything up. We're going to tighten the swinging arm nut, subframe nuts in there. We've got that subframe to tighten. We've got the bolt to put through there. We've got the head bracket to go on that. And after that we'll get the exhaust on. Got to get all that in as well. And on them subframe bolts there, the Allen key ones, they're normally dead tight because they've never been took out for years. Like if you've got an 04 derbi GPR, anyway, what I do with them, I'll show now. Just get one of them. Now when the Allen key socket's wedged in, put an adjustable spanner, put one of them on, and you can keep that still and lock that. Just sometimes they're normally locking nuts and they're hard to get out. And that's still kept tight by the spanner. So that's that side tightened. I'm going to do the same on the other side because you can't get into there neither. You could probably get in with cheap Allen keys, but you know what they're like, they always round off. So now we'll just wiggle out. It's hard to get out, but that's out. Right, we'll do the other side. So that's all the cradle bolt tightened. That one in there, that one down there. We've tightened that engine bolt, tightened the swinging arm bolt. We've got that bracket on there on the top of the head. I've got the gear stick on. And the hanger. Got the chain on now. Just need to put that part of it on. And then I'll wire all this up. Get the battery box in. Because I've got to take all this off to get the carb in. Plus there's that big black tube what goes onto the original airbox. That's got to come up. I think they come up here. I can't remember now. It's been a while since I built one back up. I normally just break them. Get the radiator on. Now we'll get the exhaust on next. And then the radiator. That's the battery case I've got from upstairs. It's got that rubber one on. I'll just put that rubber one on this one. It's just for one of these fuses. This one or this one. Don't think that looks the right one. But anyway, I'll still put it on. So we're going to put the exhaust on. That's the Athena exhaust gasket. It's got like black burn marks all the way around. We'll just pop that one off there. Still got the nuts in the bracket. So we won't have to go looking for brackets. Nuts and that. So that's the exhaust on. And by that bracket as well. That's that big sump bolt. When he thought where he asked us when he sent it, he asked us to change this casing and the casing behind it. But we've got the snap sump bolt out. But this bolt I mean's threaded into the clutch case. But I'm going to find a DTR one. And hopefully that diameter there, the DTR screws bigger. If not, I'll just put a big couple of washers on and it'll go all the way through and it'll pull his bottom casing tighter. So I've got both the cables running up there now into the splitter box. That's the same size as the DTR sump plug. So I'm just going to try that in there, see if it tightens up. So that's the new sump plug in. It should be better because it'll hold all this casing onto the casing behind it. Now we'll get the radiator on and have your cables running down through here, down under there, through the top of the radiator. So they're all coming down this side here. So there's your cables for this side. And on this side, have them running down there. They've normally both got this on, but it's further down. It keeps all the cable together. All them cables are together there. They run down there. Run them down the side of the throttle cable. There's the throttle cable run down there. There's these cables here running under there. I'll show further on how to rig them. I've got the radiator on at that side. To find two new screws in there because that one was rounded off. There was only one in. That one was rounded off when I took the front panel off. It's kind of hard to get off. But on this, See, I don't know if you can notice there, but that's oval. Got the pipe going down to there. And I've had them before with this being plastic. When I've tightened that up too much, it's leak coolant. So when you tighten them, just make sure you don't over tighten them. Or if you get a leak, you know to slacken it. It's coming on. Exhaust on, radiator. I can't rig the oil pump up yet. Throttle, I'll do that when the jets come. The carb's in the kitchen ready to be stripped. The back end's going to have to come off for the carb to go in. That's that. I'm going to have to pin the power valve and put that dodgy end cap in for the time being until he finds one. I'm just wiring the harness all up quickly just to see if all the electrics work. You've got this earth here, this earth's onto that nut there on the side of your casing, so we'll earth that. That's the earth now. Don't know if you can see it. It's that wire there on the harness with the black and yellow joined together. There, the black and yellow joined together, then go down to there onto that earth. You've got your earth on your battery and your positive on your battery, so put the battery down on now. So just earth that down there, put the battery on, the battery casing on properly. I'm just making sure everything works before I put it back together. So there's the power valve when you turn the key. I cannot rig it up because of that end cap over there. I'm going to have to pin it open until the lad gets a proper end cap, or it's just going to jam. Horn works. Electric start works as well. So that's good, all the electrics are working. I don't know if the indicators will work. Yeah, even with the front two unconnected, the indicators are still working as well. Check the brake lights. Front brake light. Back brake light, so that's all good. One last thing I forgot to check there was spark as well. If you can see the spark up there. I'll turn the torch off actually, get a key on. There's no spark there. Oh, I've got the run button off. Right. So that's mint, we'll get a good spark, everything's perfect for now. And I rigged some clocks up off it quickly of a derby what I had. It's only got 1867, it's only done that much. It's in mile power clocks, so that's good. But that indicator's working. I know I just showed this one. Oops. That indicator's working, the back one. I don't know if the lights are there. That bulb mustn't be bulb, that bulb must be blue maybe. But at least the lights work. I wonder if these ignitions are like DTRs when you can have a side light on them. See if that little light down there works. No, it doesn't. I don't even think it's rigged up actually. So now everything's done on the bike. Just going to get the carb out and see what jets is in it. If these are tight and some of them look rounded, that one's come out alright. Tighten it back in. That one's tight, then tighten it back in. That one wasn't that tight. Get these 3 screws out the carb. Just pull the bottom of the carb off. That's the carb off. Clean as a whistle in there. Can't read what main jet that is. It's the pilot jet that's screwed up. See if we can see what size it is. 17.5. So it's got the right jet in. Hopefully this is it. This is the 210. Up in there, so we'll bang the emulsion tube out. It's a 240 main jet, so all I've got to wait for is a 210 main jet. So I've already checked if the air screw turns, and it does because I've turned it all the way out. So that's good. I don't know if that filter's meant to be that way. Or it's meant to be the other way. So I'll have a look anyway. So I'm going to try and do is figure something out how to, because when the power valve has been in wrong, this bit here all the way around here is flat, and the Allen key would have went, and you can see where, so if we move the Allen key could have went round there like, or it might have been jammed when the power valve was turning, but it sounded when I turned the key it was making the proper rotating noise when it first come. But then with the power valve in the right way, when it's turning the key it's hitting this. As I put this on the right way and the power valve turned, it would miss all this, but I needed some way of getting that out there so it's all flat, so it hits Allen, so it misses the Allen key on the end of the power valve. And then we'll test the needle, see what setting it's at, see which groove it's in. And these needles are exactly the same as the DTR, but these ones only got 3 clips in, as DTR's have got 5. And normally in the middle clip these. So it's on the bottom ring on that one. I've put the clip on the middle groove, that's untight enough. So we'll put one of them on the bottom, there's 2. Put one of them on, drop it back in the carb. So the plastic bit at the bottom, put the other plastic bit on the top before you drop through. And then you put your 2 plastic bits like that, you needle through, and just put it through gently from the bottom. Then just put that back in, put the 2 screws in. So we'll just wait for the 240 main jet coming for that. Get the pilot jet to go in, I'll put that back in. Then I've got to put a proper airbox on, so I'm going to have to find a long metal bolt what goes from there to there. It's like an aluminium tube what fits in the bottom of the airbox, and then a tube what goes in there round to the carb. That's the airbox I'll be putting on. Just have to find a big tube for that there. I filed all that in there flat. They're not flat, but all the bumps what looked like they were hitting on the Allen keyboard. I'm going to put that in, put in flush, put the camera, put the screw in as well so it's flush, then see if the power valve turns. And if it does, it saves pinning the power valve, because I don't think one of these would be very good with the power valve pinned. Now see if the power valve moves or not. And that's it. Before, when it wasn't welded, it was going to there and you couldn't push it down. Now when I took the end cap off, you could get it right down to there. Because when you turn your key, that goes to there fully open. And then when the engine starts, it drops to there. You rev it, like the revs of it drops. Then if you were going to full throttle, it would just go all the way up to full throttle till the power valve's fully open, and then stop there when you're full throttle. And if you let your throttle off, change gear, then go back up. That black thing will move round to the circle. Anyway, at least that's set, so we can set the power valve as well. Still waiting for the main jet. So the jet ski in the day, I've had to put that new clear petrol pipe on there on the side. That filter, sure it's on the wrong way, but I've got one here and I'm going to put in there if it fits. If you see at the top it says flow and it's pointing downwards, so we're putting that on that way. So we'll get that on now, and then we'll get the carb on the bike. That's new filter on now, so we'll put the carb into the bike. slot it in. You can only get the carb in from this way. That's what makes it so hard to work on these. See, I've got the subframe off now and it's tilted down. There's the subframe. If I have to take it off to get into there. Then when this is on, we've got a black tube coming up here as well. Before we put that back on, so we'll get the carb on anyway. The carb's on now. I'm going to put this on. I'm just going to cable tie around there, and that fits onto the petrol tap. Just I bought one before and the person couldn't get it running. When I got it home, this pipe had a split in. Another thing I've learned, to get this black reed box in, this boost bottle on the top of the reeds, the long black one here, you can't get it in unless this bracket's off. So I'm going to have to take this bracket off. So that's the boost bottle on, that bracket's back on. Pure nightmare these are, just to get that boost bottle in there. Now we can push the carb on now. It's just in there. Get down there for where the subframe's all still off. So we've got the battery box in, the water bottle in. Got the two cables for the oil and the throttle off the splitter box, which is up there if you can see it somewhere. There, that grey thing there. There, that runs off that splitter box. So I've got the oil cable coming down there out of there. And the throttle cable's long. And the throttle cable's long, it comes down all the way around there. When the big square box is on, it comes round the back of that. So we're going to put the slide in and put the carb down through there. Slide down through there and the carb, then fit the carb on. That's the needle on. I'm just going to put in the carb now where the carb's slack, so I can tighten the top, because I don't think you'll be able to get it to tighten the top when the carb's on the manifold, on the inlet at the front. So we'll get the slide in now anyway. So I've just put a couple of Allen keys in because the top two screws are rounded. Now we're going to push the carb on. We'll put the choke cable in the carb as well, just in that hole there, just before we tighten it on the front. That's the carb on. We've got that carb warmer pipe on the head. Carb's all on. Normally on DTRs you've got two carb warmers, one goes to the head. We have to show it down there. I'll zoom in. Down there anyway, and then my finger on there, and then another one goes to the head. Another one goes to the head on there on DTRs. But that bit's different. So the carb warmer pipe off this one runs up here off the carb, run up here, and that's it there, and it runs into that bottle. So that's the throttle all right. I'm going to set the oil pump up now. That's the oil pump set now. That thin line going that way on there should line up with the black. What do you see it? Then black notch up there. So that line is lined up with that black line on full throttle. Yeah, you can see the line more there now. Well, that's the oil pump set now anyway. I've just got one of those, just cleaned it out, for the back of the carb to the airbox. And one of those big long bolts there, what goes through the front of the subframe. I think it's them two and them two. So we'll put that black box on, and then we'll be able to put the subframe back on then, because we're done with the carb now. And that's the black part on the carb now. I've had to lift the subframe up. So they're going on there. So we'll see if they can get the air filter on there. I'll try to move some of the wires out the way. Hopefully it shouldn't hit. I might just move that little wire down a bit. But we'll try and get the airbox on next. So I've got the air filter on. I have to put the black tube on first. Pull the subframe back. Push the airbox into the subframe. I'll slide it all on. I'll put all these wires out. Just took them up. They should be going up here. These two here should be on the side of the battery case. In there. Just needs the 2 screws in the battery. But I've just put the terminals on gently, but everything's working. On. Brake lights. No, I've already checked all these, but just one final check, because there's the back brake light work as well. Just one final check, because all it needs now is the tank put on and rigged up to the 2 tubes. That one, and there's another one somewhere. Still got to find an aluminium tube what fits through the bottom of the airbox, what that big bolt goes through and comes out here. But it's ready for first start now. You see, the hardest part was putting that new airbox on, but the only thing, there's the air screw. I screwed the air screw all the way out to make sure it was alright, but you can't get into it. Like, I don't know if I'm going to have to buy a long skinny screwdriver tomorrow, because I snapped my long skinny one, but this is just a short one, and watch how far it goes. You can't even get in. It's like, just everything's a mission on this bike. Like, how you meant to set the air screw? There's the air screw there. Turn the touch. Maybe you might be able to do it, but I need a thinner screwdriver, because that's not my air screwdriver. Maybe put the tank on tomorrow, and then first start it and put some coolant in, because he said it had coolant leaks, but all the gaskets were leaking. But you never know, the radiator might be leaking. Just before I put all the front back on, all the sides back on, back exhaust. I'll put the back exhaust anyway on when I first started. I've got the split link on as well. What I'm going to do now, because it's first starting the morning, you see this wire here, I haven't got the spark plug cap on yet. This wire runs round the coil wire, round the spark plug cap, and you cable tie it, and that's for your rev counter. Anyway, what I'm going to do, you see the colour of it there. I think I've got my torch on my phone. I'll just knock it off. I think the torch is off. It is right. That's the colour of it now. Just going to come back in 5 minutes. That's it now, all polished up. Don't know if you can see, I'll put the torch on. On the side of the radiator as well. What is it? I don't know, down there. Done that how done the swinging arm. Done the top yokes, but I haven't rubbed it off. That's it all polished up now and done. That's what it looks like from a distance. Looks alright. Looks cleaner anyway. Surprising what you can do if you take the bike apart bit by bit and clean every bit and put it back on. But anyway, like I said earlier, I've just got to put the tank on. I'm not putting none of the fairings on or nothing yet till I test the radiator, because he says that had a coolant leak. So I'll just be putting the back exhaust on and the tank, because that's all I need on. don't need another front on, and then I'll be putting in the yard and first starting it tomorrow. Oh, and I've got to tighten the back wheel up just when I check that split link just before the chain's slack, so I'm going to do that now while I remember. Alright, thanks for watching.